system and illuminating the first electric light. Achievement unlocked. Revival of civilization. Reigniting industrial flames amidst the harsh winter. As the first player in the server to enter the electrical age, the following rewards have been granted. 1 ice coin. 200. 2 common household appliance, set X5. 2 rare blueprint selection pack X1. 3 camp system unlocked new function. Power planning. 4 large storage battery. 5 internal combustion engine blueprint. 6 first to unlock power equipment. Possibility to find in wild treasure chests. At that moment, every player in the district paused their activities. The electrical age? Here I am. Still worrying about whether there's enough firewood, while others have already powered up. It's spicy chicken leg burger again. This must be a cheat, right? It absolutely must be a cheat. Where do I report this? On another front. In the private chat interface. Are you sure the one who eliminated you in the dungeon is this spicy chicken leg burger? It's either her or pineapple beer. Among us, all elite members of the guild, we were eliminated by them. It can only be the top few from the previous leaderboard. President, they also took the map. And I heard they even acquired the auction items from that goblin merchant. We need to take action. What kind of nonsense is this certainty? You all are truly useless. I've given you the entire strategy. After entering the dungeon, you were supposed to gather the elite and split into 2 teams. How did you get wiped out by a couple of women? 2 of those women are exceptionally powerful. Their strength is formidable. Plus they have a lackey who can continuously restore their status. It should be an accidental unlocking of a special profession. For now, let's refrain from troubling them. Once the first survivor unlocks the electric age, the progress for the entire server will accelerate. Let us prioritize gathering supplies as per my instructions. Rankings are irrelevant. None shall escape. Understood, leader. By the way, I heard that before that woman eliminated you, she carved something on your bald head with an axe. Is that true? Huh. Leader, that is not true at all. I just caught a severe cold after returning. There were no carvings. Chapter 40. The life of survivors the first night after the power was restored was exceptionally tranquil. Although the electric heater had yet to be completed, the inherent deep relaxation effect of the European-style sofa was utterly remarkable. After washing up, Jiangli splashed her face with warm water, a luxurious indulgence in this post-apocalyptic world. As she prepared for sleep, Jiangli patted her pillow. Nico, ever considerate, understood that while the large sofa was comfortable, Jiangli seemed to prefer sleeping with something to hold. With a graceful flicker, she transformed back into a small white cat amidst a gentle glow. Meow. The little white cat nimbly leaped onto the bed, settling beside Jiangli's pillow, warm and soft. Jiangli sighed contentedly, burying her face into the pillow, drifting into a deep slumber. The following morning, Jiangli was awakened by a faint rustling sound. Opening her eyes, she noticed the little white cat perched on the windowsill. Gazing outside through the frosted glass, its tail gently sweeping the window frame. Good morning. Jiangli stretched lazily, feeling invigorated. The hours of deep sleep had banished the fatigue accumulated from the previous day's endeavors. She dressed and immediately headed to inspect her precious experimental field. Crouching down, she peered at the surface of the moist black soil, amazed to see several tender green shoots sprouting forth. They had germinated. Jiangli gasped in delight. In this land cursed by ice and snow, this hint of green was more precious than gold. She hadn't anticipated the wheat to sprout so swiftly. Quickly fertilize. Jiangli retrieved a bag of fertilizer from her backpack, carefully mixing it with water and sprinkling it around the tender shoots. Drink up, grow into plump buns soon. After tending to her agricultural duties, Jiangli stood up and stretched her shoulders. Nico, let us get to work. Meow. The little white cat responded eagerly, leaping down from the windowsill and, upon landing, transforming back into the girl with beast ears. She seemed innately enthusiastic about work, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Today's task was simple, stockpiling wood. Despite the restoration of electricity, the bonfire must remain lit, and with future plans for expanding the walls, crafting arrows, and even fueling the fireplace, timber would always be a valuable commodity. Upgrading the campsite to level 4 should also be prioritized. The 2 of them, fully equipped, stepped out of the campsite. The wind and snow raged on outside, but for Zhang Li, clad in high-quality gear, this level of cold was easily disregarded. This tree. Chop it down. Zhang Li pointed to a fir tree not far from the campsite, drawing her, splitting wind dual axes, enhanced version. Let us go. With a low growl, a force of 27 units erupted in full force. The azure blade of the axe sliced through the air, leaving a fleeting shadow. Crack. Without any extraneous movements, a single swing of the axe cleaved the fir tree in half. The cut was as smooth as a mirror. In the past, she would have labored and grunted through at least a dozen strikes. The efficiency astonished Jiangli herself. This was the exhilarating thrill of numerical dominance. Beside her, Nico did not wish to be outdone. She transformed once more into a towering 2-meter-tall grizzly bear and delivered a powerful paw strike to a nearby tree. Bang! The trunk trembled violently, and snow cascaded down in flurries. Although it did not snap, it was left severely cracked. The 2 worked in perfect harmony, with Jiangli serving as the merciless lumberjack, felling a tree with each swing, while the grizzly bear Nico took on the role of a porter, effortlessly cradling 3 or 4 logs under her robust arms, dragging them to the camp like mere toothpicks or pulling along Jiang Li's small sled. For an entire morning, the little forest bore the marks of a bulldozer's passage. Acquired. Quality timber X 360. Looking at the neatly stacked timber in her backpack, Jiang Li felt a profound sense of satisfaction. Time to call it a day and have a meal. Upon returning to the camp, although their supplies had increased, Jiang Li remained acutely aware of potential threats and refrained from indulging in lavish feasts. Lunch was simple. Slices of white bread paired with a can of heated braised beef, accompanied by 2 cups of vitamin juice. The bread was fluffy, Nico carefully held a slice, nibbling cautiously, occasionally poking at the soft white center with her finger. Yes, soft. Zhongli took a hefty bite of beef and, with a mouthful, attempted to instruct her. This is called canned food, and this is juice. Now, repeat after me, juice. Guaji, juice. Guaji. Forget it, just drink. Zhongli resignedly abandoned her efforts to correct the pronunciation, watching Nico bury her face in the cup. Happily gulping and leaving a ring of orange juice around her mouth, Zhongli couldn't help but reach out and wipe it clean. This feeling of mutual dependence was, in fact, quite pleasant. After satisfying their hunger and thirst, the two slumped onto the European-style sofa for half an hour of digestion. Let us go for a stroll. Zhongli glanced at the clock. It was 1 in the afternoon, the time of day with the best light. Since they did not have to worry about survival like those struggling players, they should indulge in another core pleasure of the game, opening treasure chests. However, before stepping out, Zhongli made an exceedingly important decision. She opened her panel and clicked on the titles section. Super unlucky, all attributes 5, luck 99, remove. Zhongli confirmed her choice. Immediately, the overwhelming sensation of power coursing through her body diminished. But for the sake of the treasure chests, such a sacrifice was worthwhile. I refuse to believe that without this title, I, Zhongli, will still be the unluckiest of the unluckies. She clenched her fist, motivating herself. Nico, transform. This time, without needing Zhongli's prompting, Nico shimmered and transformed into a sleek jaguar. This was indeed her most suitable form for exploring the snowy wilderness. Agile and stealthy, yet capable of serving as a mount, she currently lacked a saddle, resulting in an uncomfortable ride, and she herself found it rather peculiar to be atop Nico. Together, the girl and her leopard ventured into the vast, snowy expanse. After approximately 20 minutes, the leopard, Nico, suddenly halted, her ears perked up, and her nose twitched inquisitively towards a snow mound to the left. A low growl escaped her lips as she glanced back at Zhongli, signaling something amiss. Zhongli immediately became alert, gripping her dual axes tightly. Nico dashed forward, swiftly clawing at the thick layer of snow. Soon, a frozen, rigid wooden chest emerged. The lid bore neither a lock nor a key, but instead, an amusingly drawn smiley face. Discovery, Forgotten Wanderer's chest, white common, a white chest. Zhongli felt a twinge of disappointment. Such chests were typically the most mundane, often containing only trivial items. However, she quickly reminded herself that she had shed the unfortunate moniker of loser. What if a miracle awaited? She exclaimed, open. Rubbing her hands together, she eagerly lifted the lid. Acquired, cotton glove, left hand, X1. Acquired, biscuits X2. Acquired, strange glass beads X5. Zhongli stared at the solitary left glove in her hand and the handful of glass beads that resembled children's toys. Her forehead twitching slightly. This had nothing to do with titles, right? It was personal, wasn't he it? Infuriated, she contemplated kicking the chest to pieces. Sensing her discontent, Nico approached, nudging her hand with her damp nose as if to offer consolation. Then, she playfully pawed at the glass beads, having a grand time. Fine. As long as you're happy, Zhongli sighed, tossing the worthless items into her backpack. Even the tiniest morsel has value. Perhaps the glass beads could serve as marbles for Nico in the future. They continued onward, and perhaps Zhongli's grievances had caught the attention of fate. Or this region was indeed bountiful. Before long, they stumbled upon another chest, this time nestled within an icy tree hollow. This chest appeared far more sophisticated than the last. Clad in a layer of bronze. A bronze chest. Zhongli's eyes sparkled with renewed enthusiasm. She gestured for Nico to step back and swung the back of her axe against the lock with a decisive strike. Clang. The lock shattered, and the lid sprang open. Acquired, refined snowboard blueprint X1. Acquired, advanced lubricant X2. Acquired, chocolate energy bars X5. Acquired, ice fishing rod, completed, X1. Wow. Zhongli couldn't help but whistle in astonishment. Was this the fortune of an ordinary person? Absolutely delightful. A snowboard blueprint. In this snow-laden world, it was akin to a game-changer for traversing the terrain, doubling her travel efficiency. And the ice fishing rod. She glanced toward the nearby frozen river. Nico, tonight we feast on fish. Although Nico did not comprehend what a snowboard was, she certainly understood the word fish. The jaguar, momentarily exhilarated, pirouetted twice in the snow, its tail flicking with exuberance. The ensuing exploration became a delightful endeavor. Freed from the pressing demands of survival, the once desolate snowfield revealed an unexpected charm. They observed a group of rabbits, their long white fur glistening in the snow, dashing about. Like a bolt of lightning, Nico rushed forward, eager to catch them. Only to find that the rabbits could burrow, disappearing in an instant, leaving Nico exasperated as she dug into the snowbank for ages. They also passed through a shimmering grove of icicles, which hung like crystalline curtains, producing a tinkling melody as the wind brushed against them. Zhongli, unable to resist, broke off a piece to taste, though it was regrettably flavorless. She drilled a hole in the ice, fishing for a while without success, until Nico, noticing her dwindling enthusiasm, dove into the water and returned with a fish for Zhongli. Unbeknownst to them, the day was waning. Zhongli glanced at her bulging backpack, her spirits lifted. Though it contained only trinkets, the sense of fulfillment from gradually bringing items home was the essence of survival gaming. She finally experienced the simple joys akin to those of other survivors. Let us go home, she said, patting Nico's back. Chapter 41. The super blizzard. The night descended heavily upon the snowfield. Zhongli secured the thick stone door of the camp, fastening 3 sturdy bolts, finally exhaling in relief. With a click, as the door closed, the sense of danger from the wilderness was abruptly severed. Outside, in the encroaching darkness, familiar growls began.